everybody, I'm Kat the Vet and I am here with a super quick video all about fireworks season, and I'm just going to give you some really quick tips on how to help your pets through it. Dogs in particular can find this time of year really stressful and difficult, and it's not just one night anymore, is it? It literally goes on for weeks and weeks, but there is loads of things you can do to help them. So my first tip is build a den, and do it now. Drag out that puppy crate you had when they were babies, or find a little cosy corner in your house behind the sofa or under a table or under a chair. Cover it over the top, put a cosy bed in there, make it a small enclosed secure space that they can retreat to when they're feeling a bit worried. It'll mean that if you cover it over, it'll muffle the noises, it'll obviously cut out any flashes or bangs that might make their way into your home, and it'll generally just make them feel a lot more secure. And start now so they're used to it, and they're used to having it as somewhere to go. You can put some tasty treats in there and something as well. Tip 2 is pheromones. This video is not sponsored, but Adaptil and Feelyway I use absolutely stacks with my patients at this time of year. Adaptil is the one for the dogs, and what that is it's the pheromone that the mummy dog gives off when the puppies are with her. So that time in their life when they were the warmest and the safest and the most looked after, it takes them back to that. It's like getting a really big hug from your mum when you're worried. And it just brings their anxiety down a couple of notches. It comes as a plug-in, like an air freshener plug-in that can fill a whole room, so you can stick it in your front room if that's where you spend a lot of time. It comes as a little spritzy spray, so you can spritz that den and again just make it feel like a really lovely space for them. And it comes as a collar, like a rubberized collar that they wear all the time, and I think that is particularly good for dogs who carry their anxiety with them. There's a lot of them out there that, you know, they have a bad night with the fireworks and then they're just constantly on edge, especially as the light starts to fade and it starts to get dark. They're already panicking about it, and if they've got the collar, it's not an instant cure-all. You will need to do other things, but it can just help them cope better. The Feelyway, that's the cat one. You know when cats buff up against you and rub and they love you and they do things to that, they do that to stuff in the house? Well, what they're doing is they're spreading a pheromone as well, and it's a pheromone that makes them feel at home and again secure. So cats generally are a bit more, they cope a bit better with fireworks than dogs. They generally just come in the house and hide upstairs under the bed until it is all over. They're still stressed and worried, but they just sort of deal with it by themselves. But the Feelyway can really help. Again, it comes as that plug-in or as that spray. So if they have a special hidey hole that they go to, spritz it. Just make that little hidey hole a little bit better for them. Number 3, on the days when you're pretty sure the fireworks are going to start going off, try if you can to give your dog a really long walk well before night falls. Basically, what we're aiming for is just tiring them out. And the other thing you can do is give them their tea a bit earlier, again before night falls. We want to do all of these things before it starts getting dark, because they're bright, our dogs. They know when it gets dark those horrible noises start, so as soon as the light levels start to drop, some of them really start to worry. So a long walk and a big meal well before nightfall. And what should happen then? Well, I don't know about you, but when I do a lot of exercise and then eat a great big meal, I just want to chill and go to bed, and that's what we're hoping that they will do too. Number 4, again, on those nights when you know the fireworks are going to be going off, act normal. Close the curtains, turn on the telly, sit on the sofa and chill out. We get really anxious on our dog's behalf, and they pick up on that and start to worry because we're worried. So try really hard to stay calm. Turn the TV on, drown out the noises, cut out the flashes and bangs, and carry on as normal. If your dog gets worried, it is okay to tell them that it's fine. A little pat on the head, a bit of a snuggle, but don't, if they get themselves in a real tizzy, try not to over comfort them. It can be a really hard line to walk, but we don't want to be over effusive because it will feed into their anxiety. What we want to do is praise them when they're brave. So if they stop shaking or they just sit down and start to chill, that's when you want to be giving them a bit of praise and a bit of love and a bit of attention. 5, treats and toys. Distract them. So dogs, I think, are like kids. They basically, you can have a house full of toys and they will ignore them all. So, but you don't necessarily need to buy some new ones for fireworks. Just take all the toys that you've got, put them all in a cupboard, and during fireworks season, bring 2 new ones out every night. So they have got something new to play with all the time. Puzzle toys are brilliant, the ones where you put the biscuits in and they've got to work out how to get them out. The Kongs are great, you can stuff those with like paste and things, and they're brilliant as well. Something that will take their mind off what they're worried about and help them to just concentrate on something else and just forget about the fireworks. So now let's talk about cats. So tip number 6 is the cats. First of all, if your cat is not microchipped, please use this as a good excuse to go and get them done at the vets. They really should be done anyway, but at this time of year, most cats are pretty sensible. One bang, one flash, and they're straight in through the cat flap and straight under the bed. But if they're a bit further away from home and they get really disorientated or frightened, they might run in the wrong direction. And then, you know, there's always the possibility they might run over a road and get in an accident or get themselves lost. And if they're not microchipped, it is so much harder to get them back. Then once they are in, or you've got them in, get out in the garden, rattle the pot of dreamies. Hopefully the cat will come through the cat flap and not straight through the wall like on the advert, because I think that is incredibly accurate. Lock the cat flap, provide them with a litter tray if they normally do go out at night. Let them find their little hidey hole and leave them be. They do not need it distracting. They do not need our reassurance. They've got this. Just let them make themselves safe and leave them alone. Number 7 is the small furry pets we keep outside, like our rabbits and our guinea pigs. They're going to get themselves really worked up as well, but we don't know about it because we can't see it. And they're prey animals, so anything different will make them very frightened. So make sure that they're shut in their hutches overnight. Cover it up with a blanket or a big towel. Again, you're going to muffle the noises and cut out the lights and the flashes and the bangs. Make sure they've got lots and lots of bedding to snuggle into, to bury themselves deep, and then they can snuggle up with their friend as well. And as a little aside, guinea pigs and rabbits should never ever live on their own. So if you've only got one, you need 2. This is not, maybe fireworks night, you could use it as an excuse to get another one, because everybody, when they're feeling a bit scared, needs a friend. Okay, next one, back to the dogs again. So, some dogs just get themselves into a real tizzy. They get so anxious, they pant, they pace, they chew, they salivate, they can bark and howl. It's absolutely awful watching them it's just getting themselves just completely beside themselves. If you've got a dog who really finds this time of year difficult, please go and talk to your local vet about getting them sedated. It can seem like a big thing, but actually we've got some drugs which are brilliant, safe, effective, and work really well. Some of them will just make them snooze the night away. Others, they're awake and they're themselves, they're just not bothered anymore. And I think it can seem like a big step, but it's a really good one. So give your vets a ring and come and talk to us, please, because sedating them through fireworks night is often the best thing for them. And that brings me on to my final tip, particularly if you've got one of those pets that just finds it completely impossible to cope with fireworks night. And that is to desensitize them, which sounds a bit technical, but actually it's really easy. If you go to the Dogs Trust website, there is a free to download program on there called Sound Scary. I will link it below. And what Sound Scary is it's a desensitizing program to fireworks. And basically what you're going to do is you're going to follow the instructions and play firework noises really quietly over a really long period of time, gradually building up the volume to the point where your dog is just not bothered about them anymore. It's far too late to start that now. We want to be starting that in about the springtime, when we can be fairly certain there's going to be no firework noises to upset the program, and then just get it playing. And it can take weeks to a couple of months, but if you remember in the spring, put a note in your diary. I would never remember if I thought of something now. It will make a massive difference, and you may well get through fireworks night next year without any problems at all. So guys, those are my top tips for fireworks seasons and your pets. It is a difficult time of year for a lot of animals, but there are so many things we can do to make it better for them. I hope you find these helpful. Thanks a lot. Bye.